Have you ever felt that someone was twisting your words, bending your thoughts, or playing with your emotions, yet you couldn't quite put your finger on it? That feeling of unease, that subtle doubt creeping into your mind, is often the mark of manipulation. People don't always lie outright. Many manipulate without ever saying a false word. They use questions, insinuations, and emotional nudges to control your thoughts, feelings, and reactions. In a world where deceit can hide behind charm, authority, or even friendship, understanding manipulation is not just useful, it's essential. And no philosophy prepares us better for this subtle war of influence than Stoicism. What manipulation really is, manipulation is not just lying. It's an art of control, an attempt to influence someone else's decisions or emotions while hiding your true intentions. Think about it. When someone asks, "Do you really trust me?" they aren't asking for reassurance, they're probing for weakness, planting seeds of doubt, and positioning themselves as your emotional lever. Manipulators thrive on your reactions, on the discomfort the questions create. Every defensive word you speak, every anxious pause you make, is fuel for their power. And here's the subtle truth. Most people fall into these traps without even noticing. But the Stoics teach us something radically empowering. The only true power someone has over you is the power you give them. Your thoughts, your judgments, your inner life, they're yours and yours alone. And when you cultivate wisdom, discernment, and calm, you become immune to manipulation. The Stoic perspective on deceit. For the Stoics, life is a battlefield, but the battlefield is inside your own mind. Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher king, wrote about the dangers of allowing others' opinions and actions to disturb your peace. Epictetus taught that external events cannot harm you, only your judgments about them can. And Seneca warned that deceit and cunning are part of the human condition, but we are equipped to meet them with reason. Stoicism is not about being naive or cold, it's not about avoiding people or living in a bubble. It's about seeing clearly, understanding human nature, and responding with clarity rather than emotion. When a liar tests your trust, Stoicism tells you, pause, observe, reason, and do not react impulsively. Wisdom as a shield. Imagine standing in a storm. The wind howls, the rain lashes, and chaos surrounds you. If you try to fight the storm directly, you'll be swept away. But if you anchor yourself in reason, if you hold fast to what is within your control, the storm can rage around you, but you remain unmoved. Wisdom is that anchor. It allows you to see manipulation for what it is, not what it pretends to be. It helps you distinguish between someone's words and their intentions, between your fears and reality, between what you can change and what you must let go. In the coming sections, we will dissect 7 deceptively simple questions that liars ask, each designed to confuse, control, or provoke you. For each, I'll show how a Stoic mind responds, not with anger, not with defensiveness, but with clarity, calm, and confidence. Why understanding these questions matters. We live in a world saturated with influence, social media, workplace politics, personal relationships, and even family dynamics. Every day, we are tested by subtle psychological tactics. Recognizing these manipulations isn't just about protecting yourself from deceit. It's about regaining control over your inner life. When you understand manipulation, you can stop reacting impulsively to emotional triggers. Set boundaries without guilt or resentment. Read people and situations clearly without falling for the mask of charm. Cultivate emotional resilience that no one can shake. These skills are not just defensive, they are liberating. They allow you to act intentionally, rather than being carried by the currents of someone else's deceit. And this is exactly what the Stoics mastered: freedom through reason. The path forward. In this video, we are going to explore each of these 7 manipulative questions in depth. The path forward. In this video, we are going to explore each of these 7 manipulative questions in depth. You'll see how liars frame their words to trap your mind, and you'll learn Stoic strategies to counteract them effortlessly. By the end, you won't just recognize manipulation, you'll neutralize it with calm and clarity. Stoicism is not about confrontation, it's about inner mastery. When you practice these techniques, liars lose their power, not because you fight them, but because you refuse to give them the power to disturb you. So, take a deep breath, open your mind, and let's uncover the art of deception, and the Stoic shield that protects you from it. 1. Do you really trust me? The subtle power of the question at first glance, do you really trust me? Seems harmless, almost caring. But manipulation rarely announces itself with a warning. This question is designed to trigger self-doubt and emotional dependence. When someone asks this, they're not seeking reassurance, they're probing for weakness. They want to see how you respond. Will you panic? Will you over-explain? Will you betray your own judgment or reveal your fears? It's a psychological lever. And here's the key. Most people fall into the trap because they answer emotionally rather than rationally. A Stoic sees this question for what it is, not a genuine inquiry, but a test of your inner stability. The goal is to maintain calm and clarity without giving your emotional power away. Why this question works? 1. It creates emotional tension when asked. Your mind instantly begins evaluating your trust. Even if you trust the person completely, the phrasing, "do you really," creates doubt. That little word, "really," makes you second-guess yourself. 2. It shifts focus to your behavior. The manipulator isn't revealing anything about themselves. They're observing you. They watch your hesitation, your defensive tone, or your body language, and each microreaction feeds their control. 3. It encourages over-justification. People often feel the need to prove their trust, to verbally demonstrate loyalty or honesty. This over-explaining is exactly what manipulators want. They turn your energy inward, and you become complicit in the game. 4. It exploits guilt and insecurity. Trust is a vulnerable area. By questioning it, the manipulator subtly implies, "Maybe you shouldn't trust me." Your mind begins questioning your judgment, and you might feel guilty for any suspicion, even when it is justified. Stoic approach. Observe, don't react. The Stoics teach that our power lies in our judgments, not in the actions of others. Epictetus wrote, "It's not what happens to you, but how you interpret it that matters." When faced with, "Do you really trust me?" a Stoic follows a simple principle: observe, pause, and respond with reason rather than emotion. Step 1. Pause. Take a moment. Don't answer immediately. Notice your internal reaction. Are you defensive, anxious, curious? Recognize that these emotions are natural, but they are not commands you must obey. Step 2. Assess intention. Ask yourself, is this question seeking understanding, or is it a test? Often, the tone, timing, and context reveal manipulation. Step 3. Respond calmly. A simple acknowledgement works. I trust you, and I act according to my judgment. Notice how the Stoic response avoids giving the manipulator additional emotional leverage. Real-life examples. Example 1. Workplace. Imagine a coworker asks, "Do you really trust me with this project?" Emotional trap. You start worrying if they will sabotage it or judge you. Stoic approach. Respond with clarity. I evaluate my trust based on your work and past actions, not on a question. Example 2. Personal relationship. A partner asks, "Do you really trust me?" in a tone that hints at accusation. Emotional trap. Guilt, self-doubt, defensiveness. Stoic approach. I trust you, and I notice trust grows through consistent actions, not words. Example 3. Online interaction. A friend or follower asks this in a message, subtly implying betrayal. Emotional trap. Anxiety over your digital presence or loyalty. Stoic approach. Pause, reflect, and respond factually without emotion. Mental exercises for Stoic clarity. 1. Anchor in facts. When someone challenges your trust, focus on evidence, not emotion. Ask yourself, do I have a reason not to trust them? If not, your trust remains intact. 2. Detach from reaction. Imagine the question as background noise. It doesn't demand an answer. Your peace of mind is your priority, not satisfying the manipulator. 3. Reframe the question. Mentally turn, do you really trust me? Enter, do I trust my own judgment? This shifts control back to you. Why silence can be powerful. Sometimes, the most Stoic response is no response at all. Silence communicates self-possession. It shows that your inner world is not subject to the games. Silence allows you to observe body language, tone, and intention. Silence prevents the manipulator from feeding off your emotion. Silence gives you time to respond rationally if needed, rather than react impulsively. Remember, the manipulator wants a reaction. Deny it, and you reclaim control. Inner dialogue. Building resilience. A Stoic uses inner dialogue to strengthen mental armor. I cannot control their question, only my response. Trust is earned through consistency, not testing. I remain calm. Their words cannot disturb my reason. This inner repetition reinforces clarity and diminishes emotional hijacking. The long-term Stoic advantage. Over time, practicing this approach changes your relationships and your self-perception. You stop overreacting to manipulative questions. You strengthen your judgment and intuition. You teach others indirectly that emotional manipulation will not succeed with you. Manipulators often give up when they realize you are steady, calm, and rational. They cannot provoke the reaction they need to control you. 2. Why are you so defensive? The hidden trap in the question, on the surface, why are you so defensive? Seems like an observation, maybe even a concern. But manipulators know that accusation can provoke guilt, self-doubt, and emotional overreaction. When asked, your mind immediately starts searching for a flaw. Am I overreacting? Did I say something wrong? Should I apologize? Notice the pattern. The manipulator shifts the focus from their behavior to yours. Suddenly, you are on the defensive, even if you did nothing wrong. This is a classic tactic, turning the tables psychologically, creating tension while keeping their own intentions hidden. Why this question works: 1. It redirects blame instead of confronting the manipulator. Your mind feels compelled to explain, justify, or apologize. The manipulator stays unchallenged while you expend energy defending yourself. 2. It preys on insecurity. If you have any doubt about your behavior, this question magnifies it. Even a calm person can begin to overanalyze, imagining faults that may not exist. 3. It provokes emotional reaction. Your natural impulse is to defend yourself, sometimes with emotion. The manipulator counts on this, because emotion clouds reasoning. 4. It masks intent while your attention is on your own defensiveness. The manipulator may be stealing information, testing your reactions, or planting seeds of doubt. Stoic approach. Awareness and reframing. The Stoics teach that our perceptions shape our reality, and external provocations only have power if we allow them. Epictetus reminds us, it's not what happens to you, but how you interpret it that matters. Here's how a Stoic responds. Step 1. Pause and observe. Don't answer immediately. Internally note, this is an accusation, not a fact. Identify your emotional reaction. Are you irritated, anxious, or confused? Recognize it, but don't act on it. Step 2. Reframe the question. Mentally convert. Why are you so defensive? Enter. They are questioning me, but I control my response. Their words reflect their perception, not my reality. Step 3. Respond with calm clarity. Example responses. I'm not defensive. I'm focused on understanding. I'm simply reflecting on what you said. I prefer to respond thoughtfully rather than react impulsively. Notice the effect. You redirect the conversation to reason and observation, not emotion. Real-life examples. Example 1. Workplace scenario. A manager says, "Why are you so defensive about the feedback?" Emotional trap. You start justifying yourself instead of listening objectively. Stoic response. I'm considering your feedback carefully. Result. You maintain professionalism and avoid being emotionally hijacked. Example 2. Personal relationship. A friend says, "Why are you so defensive?" After you express a concern. Emotional trap. Guilt and self-doubt creep in. Stoic response. I'm simply expressing my perspective. I'm open to discussion. Result. You assert calm boundaries without escalating conflict. Example 3. Online conflict. Someone posts, "Why are you so defensive in this thread?" Emotional trap. You feel attacked publicly. Stoic response. Pause. Assess. Respond factually, without emotion. Result. You retain control and avoid digital escalation. Mental exercises for Stoic mastery. 1. Distinguish fact from interpretation. Ask yourself, is this true, or is it their perception? Focus on facts rather than imagined offense or guilt. 2. Observe your emotions. Label your feelings. I notice irritation, but it does not control me. This strengthens self-awareness and reduces reactionary impulses. 3. Practice thoughtful silence. Sometimes, a calm pause is more powerful than any verbal response. Let the manipulator speak into the void of your composure. The power of reflection. Stoicism emphasizes inner control over outer events. By practicing reflection, you reduce the manipulator's power. Step 1. Recognize the question as a tactic. Step 2. Observe your internal response. Step 3. Reframe and respond rationally or remain silent. Step 4. Learn from each interaction to refine your emotional resilience. Over time, this strengthens your judgment and protects you from repeated manipulation. Dialogue examples. Manipulator: why are you so defensive? Stoic response: I'm calmly considering your words. Manipulator: you always seem to overreact. Stoic response: I respond according to what I observe, not how you suggest I should feel. Manipulator: are you sure you're not being too sensitive? Stoic response: I remain mindful of my emotions and choose clarity over reaction. Notice the difference. Emotionless clarity disarms manipulation. Long-term benefits of Stoic practice. 1. You maintain peace in conflict. 2. You teach others that manipulation won't work. 3. You strengthen your inner judgment and intuition. 4. You reduce overthinking and emotional exhaustion. By consistently applying these strategies, you transform manipulative interactions into opportunities for emotional growth and self-mastery. 3. Would you be upset if I told you the truth? The deceptive charm of the question. On the surface, would you be upset if I told you the truth? Sounds innocent, almost noble. It implies honesty, transparency, and openness. But manipulators know exactly what they're doing. They frame themselves as virtuous while positioning you as fragile or oversensitive. They plant curiosity, making you wonder, what are they hiding? What don't I know? They prepare the ground for a half-truth or lie, cloaked in the guise of honesty. This question is a psychological trap. It preys on your desire for clarity, trust, and moral integrity, while hiding its manipulative intent. Why this question works. 1. It appears innocuous. Your mind wants to believe in honesty and good intentions. The manipulator exploits this, giving you the illusion of moral high ground. 2. It encourages curiosity and anxiety. By asking this, they provoke anticipation and worry. You begin imagining all possible truths, often creating emotional turmoil before hearing anything at all. 3. It sets the stage for half-truths. People rarely tell the full truth when the goal is manipulation. This question lowers your guard, making you more receptive to selective truths designed to influence your behavior. 4. It places responsibility on your reaction. The manipulator implies, if you react emotionally, it's your fault, not mine. You become trapped in guilt or overthinking, while the manipulator stays free of accountability. The Stoic approach: truth through reason. For the Stoics, truth is not defined by appearance or words, but by reason, evidence, and virtue. Marcus Aurelius reminded us, Everything we hear is an opinion, not a fact. Everything we see is a perspective, not the truth. When confronted with this question, a Stoic responds with clarity, discernment, and emotional detachment. Step 1. Pause and assess. Recognize the manipulation attempt. The question is designed to provoke emotion, not communicate fact. Ask yourself, do I need this truth to act wisely, or is it designed to unsettle me? Step 2. Seek substance, not hype. If they claim to have the truth, ask, what exactly do you mean? What is the evidence? Avoid reacting to the framing. Focus on the content. Step 3. Respond calmly. Example responses. I prefer facts to hypotheticals. Tell me what you mean directly, without framing. I will consider what is true, not what is suggested to upset me. A Stoic approach removes the emotional bait, leaving the manipulator with no leverage. Real-life examples. Example 1. Workplace. A colleague says, "Would you be upset if I told you the truth about the project?" Emotional trap. You imagine criticism, betrayal, or hidden mistakes. Stoic response. Please share the facts, so we can solve it together. Result. You focus on solutions, not anxiety. Example 2. Romantic relationship. A partner asks, "Would you be upset if I told you the truth about what happened?" Emotional trap. Guilt, worry, and overthinking. Stoic response. Tell me directly what happened, without framing it. Result. You remain grounded, not emotionally hijacked. Example 3. Social media or friend circles. Someone posts, "Would you be upset if I told you the truth?" Emotional trap. Curiosity and fear of judgment. Stoic response. Pause, reflect, and respond with clarity or ignore if irrelevant. Mental exercises for clarity. 1. Focus on evidence, not suggestion. When someone promises truth, separate words from facts. Ask yourself, is this actionable? Is this relevant to my life or decisions? 2. Detach emotionally. Imagine the question as a neutral statement, not a personal challenge. Your emotions are yours to control, not theirs to provoke. 3. Reframe anticipation. Mentally convert, "Would you be upset if I told you the truth?" Into, "I will respond to facts, not to emotional framing." Half-truths and the illusion of honesty. Manipulators often hide behind half-truths, statements that are partially true but intentionally misleading. The question primes you to overvalue selective honesty, underestimate omission or bias, react to emotional cues rather than rational assessment. Stoicism teaches, truth is found in reason, evidence, and virtue, not in emotionally loaded statements. Dialogue examples. Manipulator. "Would you be upset if I told you the truth?" Stoic response. I prefer clarity. Please tell me directly. Manipulator. I think you should hear the truth. It might be hard. Stoic response. I consider the facts, not the framing. Let's discuss the details. Manipulator. You might not like what I have to say. Stoic response. I will respond based on reason, not emotion. Notice how the Stoic response removes emotional leverage and reframes the conversation toward clarity and rationality. The long-term Stoic advantage, by consistently applying these principles, You avoid emotional manipulation through half-truths. You cultivate discernment, separating appearance from reality. You strengthen inner judgment and confidence. You teach manipulators indirectly that emotional tactics won't work. Over time, you build a reputation, internally and externally, for rational, calm, and fair engagement, leaving manipulators powerless. 4. Do you think I would ever lie to you? The subtle deception behind the question at first glance, do you think I would ever lie to you? Sounds harmless, almost flattering. It implies innocence and integrity on the part of the speaker. Trustworthiness that you are encouraged to reciprocate. Guilt or doubt if you even hesitate to answer positively. Manipulators use this question as a psychological lever. It's a trap that makes you question your own judgment, feel guilty for suspicion, give them emotional power without them saying a single false word. Notice the pattern. It's not the content of the question but the underlying message. If you doubt me, it's your fault, not mine. Why this question works? 1. It exploits natural trust. Humans are wired to trust relationships and social bonds. By asking this question, manipulators make you feel wrong or disloyal for even considering dishonesty. 2. It creates cognitive dissonance. You want to trust them, yet your intuition may sense dishonesty. This inner conflict forces emotional and mental energy, which manipulators can exploit. 3. It masks true intent. The manipulator frames themselves as honest while probing for your response. Your hesitation or defensive answer reveals your insecurities or concerns, which they can use strategically. 4. It encourages over-justification. You feel compelled to explain why you do or do not trust them, giving away your thought process and vulnerabilities. Stoic approach. Observation over emotion. Stoicism teaches that our judgments are ours alone, and external provocations have power only if we allow them. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "If someone does wrong, it is their own doing. If someone angers you, it is your judgment that is disturbed." When confronted with this question, the Stoic approach is simple: observe, assess, respond with reason, not emotion. Step 1. Pause and reflect. Recognize the question as a test, not a genuine inquiry. Ask yourself, am I being asked to betray my judgment or compromise my inner peace? Step 2. Consider patterns, not words. Instead of taking the question at face value, evaluate the person's actions over words. Stoic principle. Trust is earned through consistent action, not declarations. Step 3. Respond calmly. Example responses. I observe your actions and assess them over time. Trust grows through consistency, not questions. I focus on reality, not hypothetical assurances. Notice how this removes the manipulator's leverage, keeping your inner judgment intact. Real-life examples. Example 1. Workplace. A colleague asks, "Do you think I would ever lie to you about this report?" Emotional trap. Guilt or doubt about questioning their competence or honesty. Stoic response. I focus on outcomes and facts. That's how trust is measured here. Example 2. Romantic relationship. A partner says, "Do you think I would ever lie to you?" Emotional trap. You hesitate, feeling guilty for suspicion. Stoic response. I value transparency and consistency. Actions, not words, show honesty. Example 3. Friendship or social circle. A friend asks, "Do you think I would ever lie to you?" Emotional trap. Peer pressure or social guilt. Stoic response. I trust based on what I observe, not what is suggested. Mental exercises for Stoic strength. 1. Focus on actions, not promises. Evaluate honesty through behavioral consistency, not statements. 2. Observe your emotional response. Notice guilt, doubt, or defensiveness, but don't act on it. Label emotions neutrally. I feel doubt, but it does not control me. 3. Practice detachment. Mentally separate the question from your self-worth. Remember, their question is theirs, your judgment is yours. 4. Reframe the interaction. Mentally convert. Do you think I would ever lie to you? Inter. Do I trust my observation and reason? The mask of innocence. Manipulators often hide behind a mask of innocence, implying honesty while subtly testing your vulnerability. Stoicism teaches, don't trust appearances alone. Evaluate substance over form. Recognize psychological tactics rather than reacting emotionally. Maintain composure to neutralize manipulative intent. This approach transforms encounters from potential emotional traps into exercises in discernment and inner mastery. Dialogue examples. Manipulator. Do you think I would ever lie to you? Stoic response. I focus on actions and patterns rather than hypothetical questions. Manipulator. You don't trust me enough, do you? Stoic response. I trust what is demonstrated consistently, not what is assumed. Manipulator. I can't believe you would doubt me. Stoic response. Doubt is natural. I observe reality and respond accordingly. Notice the pattern. Calm, rational, and anchored in observation. Emotional leverage is removed entirely. Long-term Stoic advantage. 1. You become impervious to guilt-based manipulation. 2. Your judgment is grounded in reason and observation. 3. You cultivate self-trust independent of others' words. 4. Manipulators learn that emotional games won't succeed. By applying Stoic principles, you turn manipulative encounters into exercises in self-mastery, protecting your inner peace while maintaining fairness and clarity in all relationships. 5. Why can't you just believe me? The emotional leverage in the question, why can't you just believe me? Sounds almost reasonable, even sincere. But manipulators craft it carefully to make you feel guilty, defensive, or irrational. At its core, this question implies, you are unreasonable for doubting me. You owe me trust without evidence. If you resist, it's a flaw in you, not me. Notice how the manipulator shifts the responsibility from their honesty to your reaction. Your instinctive response may be guilt, apology, or over-explaining, exactly what they want. Why this question works. 1. It exploits desire for trust. Humans want to believe in the honesty of others, especially in close relationships. The manipulator preys on your natural inclination to trust, making you second-guess your judgment. 2. It creates guilt and self-doubt. By framing doubt as a personal flaw, the manipulator induces guilt. You may feel, am I overreacting? Am I too suspicious? 3. It encourages over-justification. You feel compelled to defend your reasoning, revealing thought patterns, past experiences, or vulnerabilities. 4. It shifts control to the manipulator. The question subtly forces you to validate their honesty, while they remain free from accountability. Stoic approach. Clarity through reason. For the Stoics, external words do not dictate our judgment. Epictetus reminds us, it's not what others say or do that disturbs us, but our opinion about it. When confronted with this question, the Stoic approach involves pausing, observing, assessing, and responding rationally. Step 1. Pause and assess. Recognize the manipulation attempt. The question is about your response, not their truthfulness. Ask yourself, do I need to defend my trust, or do I control my own judgment? Step 2. Evaluate evidence, not words. Focus on actions over declarations. Stoic principle. Trust is built through consistent, observable behavior, not requests or pressure. Step 3. Respond calmly. Example responses. I observe actions, not words, to determine trust. I make judgments based on evidence, not requests to believe. Belief comes from consistency, not persuasion. Notice how this response removes emotional leverage while keeping your judgment intact. Real-life examples. Example 1. Workplace. A colleague says, "Why can't you just believe me about the numbers?" Emotional trap. Guilt and pressure to trust blindly. Stoic response. I will review the data and trust the outcome based on results. Result. You stay rational and avoid reactive trust. Example 2. Romantic relationship. A partner asks, "Why can't you just believe me?" After a sensitive disclosure. Emotional trap. Guilt, self-doubt, emotional reaction. Stoic response. I value transparency and actions. I observe and respond based on reality. Example 3. Social or family setting. A family member says, "Why don't you just believe me?" To pressure compliance. Stoic response. I base my trust on consistent behavior, not persuasion. Mental exercises for Stoic strength. 1. Anchor in evidence. Separate claims from actions. Ask, is this true based on what I can verify? Focus on observable facts, not emotional framing. 2. Detach emotionally. Recognize guilt or pressure as their tool, not a reflection of your character. Label emotions. I notice guilt, but it does not control me. 3. Practice calm assertion. Mentally rehearse responses like, I respond to consistency, not requests for blind belief. Trust is earned, not demanded. 4. Reframe the question. Mentally convert. Why can't you just believe me? Enter. Do I trust my judgment and observation? This shifts control back to you. The role of emotional intelligence. Understanding the psychology behind this question is critical. Manipulators rely on emotional leverage, often hiding behind apparent sincerity. Stoics cultivate emotional intelligence, separating instinctive reactions from reasoned decisions. Recognizing this distinction allows you to respond rationally rather than react impulsively. Dialogue examples. Manipulator. Why can't you just believe me? Stoic response. I trust what is demonstrated consistently, not what is suggested. Manipulator. You're being difficult for doubting me. Stoic response. Doubt is natural. I respond to evidence, not accusations. Manipulator. If you trusted me, you wouldn't question anything. Stoic response. Trust grows through observable behavior, not verbal pressure. Notice the pattern. Calm, rational, and anchored in evidence. Emotional manipulation loses its effect. Long-term Stoic advantage. 1. You maintain clarity under emotional pressure. 2. Your trust becomes grounded in reason and observation. 3. Manipulators learn that guilt or persuasion won't control you. 4. You strengthen inner resilience, protecting your mental peace. By applying Stoic principles consistently, you transform manipulative encounters into exercises in self-mastery, preserving calm, judgment, and emotional intelligence. 6. You're overthinking it, the subtle manipulation behind the question. At first glance, you're overthinking it might seem like casual advice. But in manipulation, it is a powerful tool designed to make you doubt yourself. When someone says this, they're implying, your thoughts are wrong or excessive. You are making a problem out of nothing. Trust me instead of your intuition. Notice the pattern. The manipulator seeks to invalidate your reasoning, pushing you to silence your own judgment. This creates dependency on their perception rather than your own. Why this question works. 1. It undermines confidence when repeatedly told you're overthinking. Self-doubt creeps in. You may begin questioning your instincts and decisions. 2. It redirects responsibility. The manipulator implies that your reasoning is the problem, not their behavior or intentions. You start policing yourself instead of analyzing their actions. 3. It silences observation. Intuition is a natural warning system. By dismissing it, the manipulator removes your emotional red flags. 4. It provokes compliance. The more you doubt yourself, the more likely you are to accept their framing of reality. Stoic approach. Observe without attachment. The Stoics teach that our judgments are under our control, and external attempts to distort them only work if we allow them. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "If someone speaks nonsense, it is their nonsense, not your judgment that is disturbed unless you allow it." When faced with, "You're overthinking it," a Stoic follows these steps. Step 1. Pause and recognize the tactic. Understand that this is a manipulation attempt, not advice. Ask yourself, am I analyzing a real issue, or am I being manipulated into self-doubt? Step 2. Reaffirm your reasoning. Identify the evidence behind your thoughts. Label your process. I'm examining facts, context, and consequences. Step 3. Respond calmly. Example responses. I'm carefully considering the situation before acting. Observation is necessary to make sound decisions. I trust my judgment and will act based on what I observe. Notice how this approach neutralizes the manipulator's attempt to silence your reasoning. Real-life examples. Example 1. Workplace scenario. A colleague says, "You're overthinking it. Just do what I say." Emotional trap. Self-doubt and pressure to comply. Stoic response. I evaluate the situation and proceed based on facts and outcomes. Result. You maintain rational analysis without being swayed by authority. Example 2. Personal relationship. A partner says, "You're overthinking this argument." Emotional trap. Guilt and dismissal of valid concerns. Stoic response. I'm considering all aspects carefully before responding. Result. You maintain clarity and protect your perspective. Example 3. Social or online interaction. Someone comments, "You're overthinking this post." Emotional trap. Social pressure and fear of judgment. Stoic response. I evaluate the situation and act with reason, not impulse. Result. You retain calm and independence of thought. Mental exercises for Stoic clarity. 1. Distinguish analysis from overthinking. Ask, am I examining relevant facts or imagining impossible scenarios? Focus on rational analysis over emotional speculation. 2. Detach from external validation. Recognize that others may dismiss careful reasoning to maintain control. Label the attempt. This is their perception, not my truth. 3. Reaffirm your judgment daily. Use Stoic reflection. I observe the facts, analyze them rationally, and act according to reason. 4. Visualize your inner compass. Imagine your reasoning as a steady light, unaffected by external voices. Practice responding calmly, reinforcing self-trust. The role of mindfulness, you're overthinking it, is an attack on mindful observation, which Stoicism prizes. Marcus Aurelius taught that self-awareness is the foundation of virtue. Observe your thoughts without reacting impulsively. Separate useful reflection from imagined catastrophes. Recognize the manipulator's attempt to distort perception, and choose clarity over doubt. Dialogue examples. Manipulator. You're overthinking it. Stoic response. I consider the situation carefully before acting. This ensures clarity and wisdom. Manipulator. Stop overanalyzing and trust me. Stoic response. Trust comes from observation and reason, not pressure. Manipulator. You worry too much. Stoic response. I examine facts to make informed decisions, not act on emotion. The Stoic response anchors you in rationality, neutralizing the manipulator's attempt to provoke self-doubt. Long-term Stoic advantage. 1. You strengthen intuition and observation. 2. You resist emotional manipulation. 3. You make decisions based on reason, not external pressure. 4. You maintain calm under scrutiny or criticism. By consistently practicing Stoic principles, your overthinking it no longer undermines your reasoning. It becomes an opportunity to reinforce self-trust and mental clarity. 7. Why don't you trust anyone? The hidden meaning behind the question at first glance, why don't you trust anyone, may seem like concern or curiosity. But manipulators often use it as a subtle attack. The implied messages are, you are suspicious or paranoid. Your lack of trust is a personal flaw. You need to rely on me more. Notice the pattern. This question targets your boundaries, making you doubt your judgment or feel pressured to justify cautious behavior. Why this question works. 1. It questions your integrity by implying that trust is a character flaw. Manipulators make you feel guilty for protecting yourself. 2. It shifts responsibility. Your careful judgment becomes framed as a problem, while the manipulator stays above scrutiny. 3. It exploits social norms. Society often praises trust and openness. The question makes your discernment feel socially deviant or defensive. 4. It provokes emotional reaction. You may feel defensive, anxious, or pressured, which gives manipulators leverage over your responses. Stoic approach. Boundaries through reason. For Stoics, peace of mind and reasoned judgment are paramount. Seneca wrote, "He who is brave is free. He who is wise is undisturbed." When faced with this question, a Stoic responds by reaffirming boundaries, observing reality, and acting with calm discernment. Step 1. Pause and observe. Recognize the manipulation attempt. The question is designed to challenge your boundaries, not seek clarity. Ask yourself, am I being asked to compromise my peace for their comfort? Step 2. Affirm your principles. Your trust is earned through actions, consistency, and integrity, not forced by questioning. Mentally reaffirm. I maintain discretion and evaluate others carefully for my own peace. Step 3. Respond calmly. Example responses. I choose to trust based on observation and reason, not assumptions. Trust must be earned and maintained, not demanded. I value discernment to preserve clarity and peace. Notice how this approach reclaims control and sets a firm boundary without hostility. Real-life examples. Example 1. Workplace scenario. A coworker asks, "Why don't you trust anyone?" Emotional trap. Social pressure and implied judgment. Stoic response. I evaluate actions and consistency. That is how I establish trust professionally. Result. Maintains integrity while keeping calm. Example 2. Romantic relationship. A partner asks, "Why don't you trust anyone?" After you question their actions. Emotional trap. Guilt and implied paranoia. Stoic response. Trust is built through transparency and consistency, not expectation alone. Result. Protects emotional boundaries while asserting rational judgment. Example 3. Social circle or online interaction. Someone comments, "Why don't you trust anyone?" Emotional trap. Peer pressure and social conformity. Stoic response. I observe actions and behavior before granting trust. Result. Retains autonomy and clarity. Mental exercises for Stoic resilience. 1. Evaluate trust through observation. Ask, do their actions consistently align with their words? Trust is earned, not assumed, and discernment is a strength, not a flaw. 2. Reinforce boundaries. Mentally repeat, my peace and judgment are mine. I do not surrender them to social pressure. 3. Detach from emotional pressure. Recognize attempts to provoke guilt or overreaction as external distractions, not truths. 4. Practice inner dialogue. I trust wisely and selectively. That is not weakness, it is clarity. The Stoic advantage. Protecting your peace. Stoicism teaches that your mind is your sanctuary. By maintaining discernment and healthy boundaries, you avoid unnecessary emotional entanglement. You respond to manipulative questions with calm, reasoned answers. You strengthen inner clarity, making it harder for manipulators to unsettle you. You model integrity and discernment, which naturally discourages manipulation. Dialogue examples. Manipulator, why don't you trust anyone? Stoic response. I evaluate actions and consistency before granting trust. That preserves clarity. Manipulator, you're too suspicious. Stoic response. I exercise caution based on observation, not suspicion alone. Manipulator. You need to learn to trust people. Stoic response. I trust those who earn it through their actions and integrity. Notice how these responses assert boundaries calmly without emotional conflict, preserving your inner peace. Long-term benefits of Stoic boundaries. 1. You strengthen personal discernment. 2. You maintain peace even in challenging social situations. 3. Manipulators lose leverage over your judgment. 4. You develop resilience and rational trust, independent of external pressure. By applying Stoic principles consistently, "Why don't you trust anyone?" transforms from a manipulative jab into an opportunity to reinforce clarity, boundaries, and inner freedom. Conclusion. The Stoics' shield against deception, understanding the pattern of manipulation. Throughout life, manipulative people use subtle psychological tactics to unsettle, control, or influence others. The 7 questions we explored. 1. Do you really trust me? 2. Why are you so defensive? 3. Would you be upset if I told you the truth? 4. Do you think I would ever lie to you? 5. Why can't you just believe me? 6. You're overthinking it. 7. Why don't you trust anyone? Are not innocent inquiries. They are tools designed to provoke emotional reactions, create doubt, or force compliance. Recognizing these patterns is the first step toward reclaiming mental freedom and emotional sovereignty. Stoicism teaches that your power lies in your judgment, not in the manipulator's words or intentions. Stoicism as the ultimate shield. Stoicism equips you with a mental framework to navigate deception calmly. 1. Observation before reaction. Always pause and assess the question or statement. Ask, is this a manipulation attempt, or is it genuine communication? 2. Focus on facts, not framing. Manipulators rely on emotional framing, not objective truth. Ground your judgment in observable behavior, not words designed to provoke doubt. 3. Respond rationally, not emotionally. Emotions can cloud judgment. Rational, calm responses neutralize manipulation. Practice assertive, concise replies or thoughtful silence. 4. Strengthen inner boundaries. Discernment is a form of self-respect. Trust is earned through consistent actions, not demanded through questions or guilt. 5. Detach from external pressure. Your peace of mind is sacred. External attempts to control your judgment are only as strong as your willingness to let them affect you. Practical applications. Consider real-life application. Workplace. Manipulative colleagues or managers may test you with subtle questions. Responding calmly and relying on evidence builds your reputation for reasoned judgment. Personal relationships. Partners or friends may try to provoke guilt or doubt. Responding with clarity and observing actions over words protects your emotional well-being. Social interactions. Online comments or peer pressure often disguise manipulation as advice. Maintaining composure and assessing facts ensures you are not swayed unnecessarily. Daily Stoic practices to reinforce the shield. 1. Reflection. Each evening, review interactions. Ask, did I respond with calm and reason, or with emotional reactivity? 2. Mindfulness. Observe your internal reactions in real time. Label emotions without judgment. I notice irritation, but it does not control me. 3. Journaling. Document manipulative interactions and irrational responses. This reinforces pattern recognition and self-trust. 4. Affirmations. Remind yourself daily, I trust reason, not manipulation. I act with clarity, not emotion. When you live for others' comfort, you abandon your own purpose. Stand firm in your truth, quietly, calmly, without apology. People may misunderstand you. Let them. You are not here to be understood by all. You are here to live in alignment with your values. The Stoic walks his path with quiet confidence, knowing that peace matters more than approval. Once you stop trying to please everyone, you become free to please yourself, and that's where real power begins. Conclusion: these are the 10 things you must quietly eliminate from your life. Not for others to see, but for your own soul to breathe again. When you let go of validation, envy, overthinking, and fear, you reclaim your inner strength. This is how the Stoic lives: calm, unbothered, grounded in truth. If this message spoke to you, subscribe to this channel now. Join the Stoic path, where wisdom replaces chaos, and silence becomes strength. Our next video will reveal 10 Stoic habits to build an unshakable life. Don't miss it. Subscribe, stay mindful, and keep walking the path of inner mastery.